Hey guys, Ben here. So I just realized, hey, I forgot to do an intro, so I'm going to jump right into the chronograph testing and then the quote-unquote accuracy testing, just to kind of see. It's nothing too scientific, but we will get a rough idea of what these tilted flywheels are doing. Okay, these are 10 new darts. It's worth noting that those are new flywheels, so it's a high of 127, low of 105, average of 119, deviation of 21. Don't know how well this is going to show up, but I'm going to try to show the accuracy at least vaguely. This is just to get a rough idea of the accuracy. I'm not trying to do anything super scientific here. Some of those were fishtailing quite a lot, but it's very obvious that it was spinning, to me at least, standing here. It's very obvious that they were fishtailing because they were spinning. It's worth noting that some of those darts weren't brand new. So that was pretty accurate. And that was exactly 20 feet from that blanket. These are new darts. I've used them 4 times, and 2 of them aren't new. So again, this isn't supposed to be super scientific. I'm just testing my own. It's funny because I said 2 of them weren't new and 2 of them fishtailed. But I think that just happened to be a coincidence. These look like the darts I've only used 4 times. Again, that was 2 darts that fishtailed out of 11. They're hitting pretty much exactly where I'm going. I think 1 or 2 of them went up slightly, about a foot or 2, and that's because I angled, when I was pulling the trigger, I pulled up a little bit like that. So they're hitting almost, that's from like 60 feet away, and they're hitting almost exactly where I'm shooting in about a foot radius. So I'm very happy with this. I don't need any more scientific data than that. I'd like more scientific data, but I am seeing the results with my own eyes. I know for a fact that my other Strife was that I built with the same motors, same setup, same everything, except for the flywheels, was not nearly that accurate. So I'm happy with this. Another project, I just got this in from username right here on Reddit, and I did plan on just using the stock. However, I think I'm going to be using more along the lines of this, and then I have a barrel break here. I'm still not quite sure how I'm going to do this. Probably chop off right here, open this up down here so that I can slot it over this thing and do something like that. And then on top of that, this giant thing, and that is going to be in tangent with another one, and that is going to be a double barrel shotgun. For those of you who don't know, that is going to fit a Titan tank in there. So I'm going to have a double barrel Titan tank shotgun. So that's a little overpowered, but you know, I don't know where I'm going to put the pump. Maybe in the stock, maybe up front here. I think it would look better in the stock. Brainstorming ideas, no guarantees on this. I was going to use this for something else, kind of a sniper project I mentioned in my first update. I'm starting to think that this would go better in a rapid strike. Now, there's a guy on Reddit who did this. I don't remember his username. I'll try looking it up. I think that would go really, really well there. Obviously, chop off the handle and then the rest of this, but you know, put that there just because this is such a wide blaster. And since the Rapid Strike has a pusher gearbox, this is also wide, and I think it would fit the Centurion shell nicely. And just that whole, it's a box right here, it's a box up here, I think that would go really, really well. Might do a dual flywheel cage system in here. You know, never know. There was a guy on eBay, don't know his name, he made cylinders for 3 elite darts in each shot. So it's like a shotgun cyclone shock. I'm not even going to try looking up his name because I know everyone who's going to watch this video knows what I'm talking about. And he doesn't really, I think he still makes them, but I think he makes them and then puts them for sale. And then when that one's sold, it's just sold, because I think that he said that he was just getting inundated with orders and that he couldn't really keep up with them anymore. I think I want to design my own, because that is why I got a 3D printer. What is the point of a 3D printer if I'm going to buy other people's 3D printed stuff when I could just design it myself? Someone threw something out there that I thought was interesting, and I have zero idea who it was. I don't even remember what the thread was, so I can't go back and look you up. I do apologize, but note that this is not my original idea. Just someone said, since those are bunched up anyway, wouldn't it be cool if they took shells? That way you could reload it really, really quickly. And I thought that was an amazing idea, because right now the sledge fire is great. Sledge fire is awesome. But it's big, and you get one shot. What if you could get this thing to fire these shells? That would just be absolutely incredible. And since these holes would be triangular and large, that's something I can actually mold. Unlike the hammer shot cylinder with the single barrels and the fact that they were so close together, this might actually be a viable option to mold. It would still be testing the limits of my abilities, but it is way more viable than anything else. As a matter of fact, you don't need this whole barrel. I think you just need something like this, short. And then it wouldn't matter if these shells stick out right here. I don't think it would look very good, but I mean, that it opens up my options where if I can't mold it, then at least I have another option. But maybe find a way. I think there's enough room in here somewhere where I could just cut off that and make it a rear loading shell thing. I would have to work out the kinks on that, because then obviously they would just fall out. So you can't have that, but I'm sure the technical details could be worked out. I think that would be really, really cool. So maybe some sort of clip system, maybe just load them in from the side. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Again, future. I'm getting way more into the future, but this is just something I can throw my ideas out there, and I think that it's good to share with the community. I might not even do it, but this is what's on my mind right now, and at the very least, I have ideas like this quite often, and I've never really been able to focus them, just because I go through this so fast, and then it gets blown away by something like this, where I'm really, really passionate about, and I really want to get this out. But then even this gets blown away by something else that I'm trying to do. Yes, I'm talking to you. And I just get so sidetracked from one thing to another that I might never get around to this. And I might never get around to this. And, you know, I'm just trying to keep up with this, and there's so much. But at least with these videos, I can get my ideas out there. So if I ever get stagnant or if I ever get bored, I can look back on my own videos and remind myself, hey, you wanted to do this. Maybe you should start working on this while you're bored. You know, I think that's healthy for someone who, as scatterbrained as me. Maybe. Now that looks really cool. I think I'm going to put these LEDs in something, but I want to make sure that they're not going to burn out first. I've had bad experiences with these running off of AC power out the wall, where they've kind of discolored a little bit and different things. So I'm going to run these for a few and make sure that they're running well. They run off this little controller board off of this little power unit. Of course, I can cut this cord and, you know, run this wherever I want. But I think that looks good. You can change the modes, but this is probably my favorite. So I'll probably keep the controller board in the shell. So if you ever wanted to change it, you could always open up the blaster and change it yourself. But when you turn this off and then turn it back on, it continues where it left off. So it has some sort of memory in there, which is nice. so you don't have to change the mode back every single time, which is really, really great. This was like $10, I think, so it makes a really good LED option, and I think that looks really, really cool. It's not hard to look at on my phone right now, but when the colors are, you can see the individual LEDs in here if you're looking straight at it, and it kind of hurts your brain a little bit, but if you disperse it through this, it looks fine. So I got this little module, and it came as parts. I had to solder it all myself and stuff, and it works just fine. And you can adjust how quick it flashes, I guess you could say, and it's alright. So I turn it this way. It's got to stay a little bit longer, but you can't really speed up the intervals, like how fast it's dead. If I do it this way, it's just going to go really quick. But the dead space in between when it's not lit is always pretty much the same, and that kind of sucks. So it's alright, it's an option. Maybe if you had one color LEDs and then this color behind it, so that every now and again you'd get that pulse of a different color. I think that could be cool. But I don't really know how many LEDs I could string on this. I'm sure there's no real limit because LEDs take up so little power anyway. As long as you're getting the right power to them, it almost doesn't matter. But this is super cheap. I think this is like $2. But again, I had to wire everything myself, and with the other option of that colored power strip, I can actually make it do this exact same thing, but I can control the speed a little bit better. It's a smaller module, you know, I can change the different colors and different things, so maybe this for a certain project, what if I don't want to change the color of the LEDs, but I'm sure they have some sort of solid LED controller that would do the exact same thing, so I don't know how I feel about this. It was just $2, so no harm, no foul, but just thought I'd show it off. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have for this week. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. And thanks for watching.